I'm live. Give me 2 seconds as per usual. Just sorting some stuff out. Just want to get up the old video, make a few adjustments. I haven't been live for a while, so I thought, you know what? Well, especially on the old Chelsea content. I've been ill quite recently, on and off ill. Lost a lot of weight, need to put the weight back on. So I thought, you know what? Why not I do a little Chelsea catch up, do a little video to talk about what's been happening over the international break since our last. My last video was the Everton game. Just hold on, just sorting out a thumbnail for this video. I've been changing a few things on my channel recently. I've separated the gaming. That's got its new channel now, Casanova Gaming. So if you fancy watching any live streams gaming, jump over to Casanova. That's important. Just sorting out the stream location. 1 second. Might do Stamford Bridge. Let's do Stamford Bridge. Yeah, if you fancy looking at the old gaming channel, jump over to that. If you're tuning in on X, obviously hit the follow button. I will follow back, and head over to the YouTube as well. Help this channel get to 500 subs. That's the goal for the end of this year. Small goal, small channel. I think it's reasonable. We're on 227 at the moment, so hopefully by the end of this stream we're on like 235. That would be ideal. That's where we want to be. But let me just sort this out, and then we'll get straight into this Chelsea catch up. Let me get rid of that now because it's slowing up the stream. There we go. So that's done. Now I've got the X up on here as well, so we can look at some news as we're going along. News today, Simon Phillips reporting that we might be interested in a surprise signing of Darwin Núñez. Oh my God. Do you know what though? When he was at Liverpool, I said that was a signing that would probably work for Chelsea, but we had Nicholas Jackson at the time, and I weren't very happy with Nicholas Jackson. Considering how it played out for him at Liverpool, I can't call it. I mean, if I just look at how it went with Liverpool, I'm going to say no, but you never know. You never know. Very quick player. His finishing ain't great. His finishing's not great. He can't hit a barn door. But then again, I've seen him score some goals where I thought, you know what? Finishing was top notch. So who knows? Who knows? But anyway, last video was the Everton game. Absolutely shocking performance. I've done a video after that saying, you know, rest in peace to Chelsea Football Club, because, you know what, that's how I felt at the time. I think that result pretty much set the tone for the international break. The feeling around Chelsea at the moment, very negative, rightly so. Well, hold on, this stream's just paused. Catch up. What's going on with the stream? My internet seems to be struggling today. There's no one in the house. It should be better, if anything. Seems to be struggling. Give me 2 seconds. Let me see what I can cut down on. Let me take that off. There we go. That might help. So yeah, that kind of set the tone for the international break. That 3-0 loss to Everton. I mean, after the PSG result, I'm looking at them going, this is just, you know, absolutely outplayed, outscored by a PSG team, which the manager, I'm looking at him going, you just don't know what to do. You got no answer for Luis Enrique's football. This is like, they've come to Stamford Bridge and they are absolutely taking the piss out of us. Like, it was schoolboys versus men, that game. And that was just so blatantly obvious on the pitch. I mean, if you've watched football all your life, you will just look at that game and go, whoa, we got nothing. We had nothing. And then to make the subs at the 60th minute and pretty much throw in the white towel and say, yeah, we're done. We've got nothing to give. We're not going to come back into this game. From Rafinha, I'm looking at him just going, that is weak. That is weak. This is the Champions League. I know that we've got games at the weekend, Premier League games that we've got to prepare for. But this is the Champions League. You don't do that in a knockout game. You don't sub off your players to rest them for the game at the weekend. You fight. Anything can happen in a one-off game. I mean, when it went 3-0, I was like, there's no chance. I mean, even when it went 1-0 in the first 6 minutes, I was thinking, no, we ain't got this. We ain't got this. In the first leg, when it went, 5-2, no chance. No chance. So 4-2 or 5-2, I can't remember the scoreline. When they scored their last goal, I said it was done. And lo and behold, we go into the next leg. They score in 6 minutes. It's definitely done. But obviously, a lot of attention has been aimed at Rossini over the last 2 weeks. Obviously, taking them players off at 60th minute to rest them. And then we go in against Everton and we put in such a lame performance. You took these players off for what? For them to put in that and lose 3-0 anyway. So rightly so, there's been a lot of attention aimed at Liam Rossini. I mean, I'm looking at him now and I've completely lost all faith in him. I was saying I did like his football. He's attacking football, but it does come at the expense of your defence. His attack might look really good. It looks free flowing. It looks very direct. Looks like we're just going straight for the goal. We're trying to get goals. It's benefited João Pedro, for example. But it's at the expense of that defence. And maybe this is what Enzo Maresca had realised during his time at the club, that he has to play a certain way to protect the defence, because the defence, they're simply not good enough. And it's not just one or two of them. It's pretty much all of that back line. I mean, with the Reece James, Cucurella defensively, I think it's all right. It seems to be those centre-backs, no matter what pairing we put in, it's susceptible to mistakes. And then you add the goalie in the mix for that. It doesn't help when you've got a manager that thinks, you know what, I'll try new things. I'll drop this goalie and put another goalie in. It's just, you don't do that. We've seen this before under Enzo Maresca, putting Jorgensen in, taking him out. Rossini should have seen that himself and thought, well, you know what, this is not something that I want to do. He done it. Lo and behold, we're out. We go into Everton, and it's just a poor showing. And that's got to be a mentality thing for the players. They're obviously, taking a massive knock being kicked out of that Champions League, but that doesn't matter. We have to perform in this Premier League if we want to hit the top 4 places. Which, to me, I'm looking at it going, we're struggling. We're very, very much struggling. I called it earlier on in the season, just after, I think it was just before Maresca left, that we won't get top 4. I haven't got much faith that we will hit top 4 this season. I did say it last season, and they proved me wrong on the last day of the season, mind you. But I'm just looking at the games that we've got coming up, how we're playing, the manager that we've got coaching these players. I don't think we have got what it takes to get there. And I'm looking at the teams around us, and I can't see it. So that was us going into the international break. Negativity, and a lot of Chelsea fans around, like even me, I've seen it online. Very negative space at the moment. Very negative space. Understandably so. And with that comes the international rumours. Every single international break, there is rumours to every single club. Chelsea, for some reason, seem to get some daily. I don't know if it's just because of my algorithms on X and what I'm looking at and what I see, what pops up on my feed all the time. But every single day, I don't know if it's this club or it's other clubs. Someone please tell me that it's the same for their club. Every day there's some drama at this football club. Every day there's some rumours. Today, another article about Cole Palmer potentially leaving. Yesterday, it was something to do with the owners and how I can't remember, man. It's every single day. every single day. Someone wrote an article about the owners and it got retweeted, and then it was just a personal opinion article. So it all gets blown up and it's all drama. If I find it, I'll get to it, but I didn't say nothing on it because I knew that it was just some shitty Guardian article from somebody. But it's the same accounts that keep regurgitating this shit online, and all it does is just piss off the fans. It just piss up. Like we got today, the Sun. Enzo Fernandez is ready to submit a transfer request to force a move from Chelsea. We don't even like. You're just pushing. No one knows that news. Nobody. I'm telling you now, there's no one speaking to him. His agent ain't putting nothing out. Someone has gone, oh, you know what? Like, we need to do an article today. We'll do it on Chelsea. There's been a lot of talk about Enzo Fernandez recently. I tell you what, the one thing that hasn't been pushed out there is, how about the next step of him trying to push for his move is he will submit a transfer request. And they just write an article on it. And then you get all the Chelsea, accounts that just regurgitate this shit, and it just pisses everybody off. It just winds up the fan base. Chelsea are aware of what he's doing, but do not want to let him go for less than 130 million. Now, if we get 130 million for him, wow, that will be some serious business. Cash in all day long. Because I said at the start of the season, and you can watch my previous clips, I've got shorts on it as well. I called that Enzo Fernandez, this will be his last season, and he will be going to Real Madrid. That's not any ITK knowledge. I don't know. I haven't spoke to the player or his agent. Pastore, he's another little weasel. I don't know this information. But I saw what happened after the Club World Cup, and the rumours started then that Real Madrid were interested in him. And I know how that team work. I've seen it throughout my lifetime. Whenever Real Madrid are interested in you, that's it. Bang. If it comes out in the public eye, if they're really interested in you, they're doing all the talking in the background throughout the season. They're in his agent's ear. They're probably speaking to Enzo Fernandez already, telling him, look, I can offer you this. You can come live here. You can do this. We've got this villa. You know what I'm saying? So no wonder the rumours come out. It was only a matter of time. That's why I said at the start of the season, and I called it, this is going to be his last season, and I guarantee we make our money back on him, because that's what I think will happen. I think we will be making our money back on him. If we get 130 million, we'll be making profit on him, and that'll be fantastic, and that'll be lovely for the owners. They'll love that. Where they reinvest that is the next big question. But anyway, international rumours that come up. Obviously, the first one that come up that I saw was Cole Palmer being linked away once again. Rumours that he's not happy with the direction of the club and where it's going. Do I blame him? No. Cucurella come out as well, and we'll speak about that in a minute. Enzo Fernandez has come out, and we'll speak on that in a minute. Apparently, the Lap come out and said something, but nobody batted an eyelid. Nobody gave a shit. Not surprised. Maybe in the background, these players who I would consider our core players are starting to get a little bit frustrated, and then to add to that, because of what Enzo Fernandez has come out and said, it's in the press and the media are now asking all of the players these questions. So, the constant highlighting of these things, it's going to pop up and people are going to keep asking these questions, and it's going to force these players to have to answer it. I saw one with Caicedo recently, just having a normal interview. So they asked him about Real Madrid. So he's forced to answer that question. He could turn around and say no comment. And either way, he's stuck in a position where someone can interpret it in a different way. He come out and said, I'm at Chelsea, I want to be a legend at Chelsea. But he did say, I don't know whether I would turn down Real Madrid. But let's be real, Chelsea fans. Any player in our squad, any footballer in the world would not turn down Real Madrid. You must be mad. Apparently Reece James did. Fair play. We can't expect every single one of these players to be like Reece James and want to stick your career out at one club. Yes, we all love the idea of it all, one of our own, etc. But a footballer's dream is to go and play for the biggest clubs out there. Real Madrid, Barcelona's, Bayern Munich's. I don't consider this club to be in that upper echelon of elite football clubs. Never have done. I felt like we were getting there, but I think you'll find a lot of players when they start in their career, the aspiration is not when you get to the very top, Chelsea Football Club, in my opinion. And that's not me shitting on the club. I'd love it to be my club. I think it's just a bit more of just being realistic. The biggest clubs out there are your Real Madrid, your Barcelona's, your Bayern Munich's. The only other way that we're preventing these teams from going there is we're being very successful, like we was before this ownership come in. This is what bugs me with fans, Chelsea fans at the moment, when they start talking about the previous ownership and the Roman era towards the end and how it weren't as great as we thought it was. It weren't. I remember feeling, come on, like, when are we going to win the Premier League under this ownership? Under Roman Abramovich, when we won it in 2017. We're not finishing near it. We're not knocking on the door, but we always had the ability to win trophies, just like we did with the Champions League in 2021. Out of nowhere, we always had that, and teams around us looked at us and gone, you know what, they can, if they're in it, they can win it. We had that about us, that reputation, and I feel like with this ownership, since it has taken over, when you want to do the comparisons and where it's really slipping away is we are losing that reputation where you don't look at us and take us seriously. We was always taken serious. 20 years we were the most successful club in England. We're now not. Man City are, after winning their Carabao Cup. So for me, that will be the biggest shift that this ownership can do, is start taking everything seriously, going for it, and getting us back with that reputation. And I don't think many fans will actually have a problem. If we can go back into that direction and people will taking us seriously, looking at us as a powerhouse, start going back on track to being one of the elite clubs that have ever existed. That's where every football club should be aiming to go. Right to the top, to sit alongside your Real Madrid, your Barcelona's, your Man United's, your Bayern Munich's. That's where you want to be. But yeah, Cole Palmer, let's get back on it. I went on a little bit of a diversion there, linked with a move away to Manchester United. Now, this is not the first time I've seen this rumour pop up. It's obviously been going on throughout the season. Is he pissed off? Is he homesick? He's the club that he supported growing up. I think a lot of it is Man United fans pushing it because they'd love to sign him. Understandably, he is a good player. This season, we haven't really seen the Cole Palmer in like we thought we would. Now, he has been hindered with injuries this season, and I think he struggled with his match fitness. That's the one defence I've had over him. I've always defended him this season. He's been injured, And if your rival fans trying to get onto him, I mean, I've had Arsenal fans try to chat to me about him, and I've said, well, take a look at Saka, for example. You've experienced one of your best players with an injury. He ain't been himself this season. No way near. Because an injury, when you do pick up a big injury, it's not just, you're now back getting up to scratch with the speed of the game. That takes time. Your match fitness takes time. If you have a setback, you're constantly going to be fighting it. And if you need surgery, which I think he does need surgery, and they're postponing it because of the World Cup coming up, I think you're always going to be in a position where, you know what, I'm going to be struggling, and it impacts your game. And that's where I see Cole Palmer at the moment. And that might be playing to his frustrations. But again, if Cole Palmer's looking at where this club is going, the direction it's going, you can understand his frustrations. Why is it doing this? Why is my freezing? Hold on. It shouldn't be. Let me check the internet. Should be pretty good. It is. Let me I'll take the X off. Let me take Twitter down. That might do it. That might help. I'll take that down now. That might help the stream. But yeah. Will he go? I don't know. But again, another rumour come out today that he wants to move to Manchester United or that he wants to move away. Manchester United is the team that keeps getting pushed out there because it's his boyhood club. Do I blame him? Not really, no. Not really. I'll be totally honest with you. I don't want it to happen. Can't blame the boy. Then we see the big one over this international break that has continued on into, well, it will continue on to this week, into this weekend when we play Manchester City because he's been suspended for it. Enzo Fernandez linked to Real Madrid once again. But to top it off, he starts flirting with them. He starts doing interviews when he's on international break with Argentinian media saying how he loves Real Madrid. I mean, not Real Madrid. He loves the city of Madrid. He'd love to live there. They're asking his wife, she's saying she wants to live there. And, you know what he's doing? He's planting the seed. You know, the links to Real Madrid were there. Then all of a sudden he starts talking about, moving to Madrid. I haven't got the interview up, but I'm pretty sure they asked him what if Real Madrid come knocking, and he said he would be hard to turn down. Don't quote me on that. Do your own research. I need to double check that. That is just me guessing. In fact, let me fucking check it. I can't just do that. I shouldn't do that on stream. Let me check it. Let me check. Enzo Fernandez. What was it? Interview. Real Madrid comments. I definitely know that he was talking about living in Madrid because Pastore come out afterwards and was saying, all he was talking about was living in Madrid. But we know what he's doing. We know that he's planting a seed because he wants a new contract with improved conditions, apparently, which he's apparently refused one already, and it wants to be renegotiated towards the end of the season. So the links are obviously coming out there now. And obviously, that's what your agent will do. They'll push that out there and make a thing of it. So your club has to react. Here we go. Let's read this. What Enzo Fernandez said about Real Madrid. I'd like to live in Spain. I really like Madrid. It reminds me of Buenos Aires. That's the city that he would live in. I'm more comfortable in Spanish. It doesn't actually mention Real Madrid, but it did say, will he be a Chelsea player next season? And he said, I don't know. There are 8 games left and the FA Cup, then there's the World Cup, and then we will see. So he's planted the seed. He didn't actually say it was Real Madrid, sorry. So I'll take that last comment back about him saying he would turn him down. It was Cucurella who said it about Barcelona. But he's planted the seed. And he's saying, look, I might not be here next year. I'd love to live in Madrid. So there's only 2 teams in Madrid. It's going to be Atletico Madrid or Real Madrid. So we already know that the Real Madrid rumours are there. We know that he's flirting with him. We know what Pastore is doing as well when he's coming out and trying to say, well, suspending him is a bit harsh. Don't think that's right. No, this is our vice captain. We're in a period where we need a little bit of leadership. We need people to come out, and start grabbing the ball by the horns, as they say, and trying to direct this club to where we need to be going, because we need to start winning matches if we want to finish in the top floor. We've got City at the weekend. It's going to be a massive game. We need our vice captains. He's suspended now because of this nonsense, but we need our vice captains to stand up and say, do you know what? No, let's fucking perform. Let's perform. And we're not getting that. Instead, we're getting him twerking for Real Madrid. So we are where we are. We are where we are. And it's, I called this at the start of the season. I said, you know what? He will be gone. But because of the way that he's behaved, I don't care if he goes tomorrow. And I'm a little bit of a catch-22 because he's grown on me this season, Paul's, as a player, because, I was slating him when he first joined the club. But this season, I thought, he has actually been one of our better players. Last season, I appreciated what he was doing. The thing is, when you see him playing well, you can see how it affects his team. You can see when he's not in the squad, how it affects the team. And you can see when he's playing bad, the impact that it has on the whole squad. So you can see his importance in the team. But how he's behaved and how he's twerked for Real Madrid, and he's doing a Thibaut Courtois, in my opinion. The next thing he will be is he doesn't turn up for training, and that's it. But I'm just not surprised that this has happened, because players that are linked to Real Madrid, it always seems to happen. This always seems to happen, you know. And the reality is, if we are getting 130 million for him, he is replaceable. He is. You know, the thing will be is who we replace him with. So not surprised, but very disappointed in him. You know, especially at a time where this team needs to rally together and start putting in performances. The other player that came out with some international rumours was Cucurella. Now we'll speak on what he said about the model and the ownership and the club. We'll do that in a minute. But there was rumours linking Cucurella with a move to Barcelona. Now, this was from the Spanish media who were chatting to Cucurella. They spoke to him about Barcelona. Now, you have to remember, Chelsea fans, that this is the difference between Cucurella and Enzo Fernandez. Cucurella come through La Masia. He played for Barcelona. That's his boyhood club, you know, the club that he supports. And they've asked him the question, if Barcelona came knocking, what would you do? He turned around and said, look, I can't lie, it would be quite hard, quite difficult for me to turn down. It's my boyhood club. I actually don't think there's anything wrong with that. If you actually read the rest of his interview, he's not sitting there twerking for them saying, Barcelona, come get me. He done it very respectfully. They asked him a question and he told them, look, it is my boyhood club. I don't think that's something I could easily turn down. And like I said previously, in reality, we all know that it's the footballer's dream to play for these top clubs. And this is even Enzo Fernandez. It's probably his dream to go play for Real Madrid. It's probably Cucurella's dream to go play for Barcelona. It's just about how you do it. And in my opinion, if you read his interview, there was no disrespect intended. We'll touch base on what he says after. We'll do that in a minute. But for me, what I just want to touch base on now is it's quite a daunting prospect at the end of the season. If we don't get Champions League football, we don't hit that top 4 or 5, whatever it is, and we're not in the Champions League next season, the impact that could have on this club is going to be monumental. When you look at the losses that we put forward this year, record losses. Now, I try not to read into it too much because I kind of feel like they're deliberately putting finances out there now to make it look bad, so that the next season it's going to look fantastic. But I think it is heavily reliant on Champions League football because we will lose a lot of income. We still haven't even sorted out the shirt sponsor properly, have we? So it's you know, next season is predicted to be 700 million. We're supposed to top our revenue, break our revenue records. So I kind of feel like they're being a little bit savvy with it. Obviously, in the first 2 seasons, we made a massive loss, and it was all covered by selling the system, selling the women's club, selling the hotels, you know, covering it all up for all these players that they wasted money on. Those first 2 seasons, we seriously fucked up on. Spent way too much money. Owners in charge that don't know how to run a football business, don't know who they should be buying, misled, giving contracts away that they shouldn't be giving, signing on fees, ridiculous. Another thing that come out during this break is the agent fees. 65 million in agency fees. We're way above everybody else. Why are we paying so many agents? I'm telling you, and I've said it before, investigate this club for money laundering, especially between Brighton, because it doesn't make sense. How can we be paying £65 million in agency fees? Are we paying them to get rid of their players? Here, I'll give you 10 million if you can tell him to go. Is that what it is? Because it just don't make sense. It really don't make sense to me. But yeah, the stream's dropped again. There we go. We're back. But then like I said, we're in a very daunting position. If we don't get Champions League, will we see those three key players leave? Cole Palmer, Cucurella, and Enzo Fernandez. Now, to me, currently, them three players are quite key. I would say they're key players. They've formed part of the spine that they're trying to build, Blue Co. Now, to get rid of them next season, don't get me wrong, every single player is replaceable. You could always replace every single player. But it doesn't mean that it's going to be beneficial. But if you was to lose all three of those players, for me, I'm looking at the mod like what we've done over the last 4 years and going, you get rid of them three, that's a lot out of your core gone. You're basically asking for a rebuild again. You're basically asking for a rebuild. You know, Cole Palmer, he's up there with our best player. For me, it's Reece James, who signed a new contract, thankfully, but got injured. Enzo Fernandez is up there. But I've said already, I believe he's gone. But then Cucurella as well. Interesting. Now, I've got a sneaky suspicion that Cucurella will be gone by the end of the season. He's been linked to Atletico Madrid for majority of this season. So, will Blue Co sell is the question. I think they do. I think they do. Now, if you look at who we've been interested in and who we've apparently signed, which I'll get up to in a minute, you know. Valentin Barco, is that our new left back? Is Hato coming through as our new left back? Hato, by the way, I like this player. I like him. And we'll speak about him in the Port Vale game. I know it's Port Vale, but from what I've seen previously as well, I like what this guy can do attacking-wise. Defensively, I think he's not far off as well. A couple of seasons under his belt, a little bit more experience, I think he's going to be a very, very good player. And then you look at Cucurella and you think, well, there's your succession plan. And if we are bringing in a Valentin Barco who can play left back and midfield, you're thinking they might be lining this up. Now, when I think back now, I've always thought Valentin Barco was always going to be his route. He was always going to end up at Chelsea. So, or we was always going to get that Diego Moreira back. So you look at the succession plan, and I think like they've always planned to get rid of Cucurella and Enzo Fernandez, and I think it's starting to play out now. Now, talking to Cucurella and his interview that he done where he picked apart the model now, this was fantastic. So in the same interview that he's talking about them, he mentions the model and how it's impacting the side, where games like PSG, you need to rely on experience, players that have been there, done that, you know, might have had success in the competition as well. He turned around and said, well, we don't have it. And I think all Chelsea fans resonate that. You get a few that moan about him, saying, I'll get rid of him as well and all this. Bollocks. Finally, we have a player there that's calling out the bullshit, calling out the model, doing it in a respectful way. Now, he might have got warned in the background. Who knows? But this was something that needed to be said. And it needs to be said by our important, these players are starting to become our senior players. They've been here for a while. We need them speaking out. We need them to be telling the owners. Now, they might be doing it in the background, but to come out and publicly do it, it sends a big message. Now, a lot of Chelsea fans are happy that he come out and said, as soon as he said it, I was like, bang, that's my guy. This is what he said. You are fighting and training every day only to realise at the very end that when games matter, we are still a bit away from the top level. Facts. We've been saying it the whole way through. Don't matter who you buy, who's young and up and coming. When it really matters, we haven't got the squad depth there or someone that we know that can turn the game on its hand or stabilise the game. We haven't got enough. Like what with all these signings that we're making, this money that we're spending, it's just not enough. And we've been saying it for such a long time. How we doing, DCF? You good? Let me get the comments up on stage quickly because I've got a small. There we go. How we been, mate? You good? Just thought I'd come in and do a little catch up. I haven't streamed for a while on the channel, doing the Chelsea content, so I thought I'd come in and do one on here. I've got a few people in there at the moment. If you're watching on X, make sure you head over to the YouTube channel and drop me a sub, please. Trying to get this channel up to 500 by the end of the year. I think it's quite reasonable. Small channel, but slowly but surely, we will end up growing. And it's not just Chelsea. You know, we'll talk about all things football. I'm trying to get a little bit more content out this. Well, was intending to do it this year, but I've been on and off ill the whole of this year so far. Whether I'm not there's something going on or I've just been unlucky, but I've been sick quite a bit this year already. When you go to the gaming channel, go live on the gaming channel. I normally go live late at night on the gaming channel, so around 8 p.m. UK time. That's when I normally go live on the gaming. Or if it's a weekday, it'll probably be during the day. But I'm off work all week, so we're off for the Easter break. So I should be able to do some lives during the day. A bit of Ark Raiders and Crimson Desert. Put 2 up there yesterday, did 2 streams yesterday. But yeah, let's go back onto this, what we were talking about with Cucurella. So we need these players saying this. So I understand this is part of the club's policy, that they want to take this direction, signing young players and looking to the future. But for all of us who are still here and want to win big things, moments like this makes you feel discouraged. Boom. My guy. Absolutely love that. Exactly what we need them to be putting out there. But that's a massive alarm bells ringing to the board, you know. Who we will consider to be our senior players are now coming out saying, listen, you can sign all these youngsters as much as you want. But us, the ones that are here, the ones that, you know, you invested in to start with, we're now getting older. We're now considered experienced. We're now considered part of your core. We've won stuff with you. We want to win more. We want to win more important trophies. We're showing a little bit of ambition. Match it. Match it with us. Signing a kid that hasn't done anything in their careers but has a little buzz about them is not going to get us where we need to be. And they're screaming it. Cucurella said it. Respectfully said it. Fair play to him. I rate that. I proper rate that. I don't want to hear. I love Jason Cundy, but when he was telling Cucurella to shut up the other day, not having it, Cundy, whatever you want to say, not having it. I'm not having you telling him to shut up. We need more players coming out saying, listen, back us with some decent signings, man. Come on, like, we're ready to go. That's him saying, Cucurella saying, like, look, we're here, we're ready. We're ready to, you know, take this to the next step. But we need the board to do the same thing. We need you to you know, sign a player that's going to complement me, not one I need to watch, not one that I think is going to make a mistake behind me, not one that I can't trust fully because he's not experienced enough, not one that I can't rely on to pick me up when I might need it, you know. So, you know, when they start to realize that, you know, their model is a pipe dream, you know, that's all it is, and a risk, a dice roll. It's not a proven method. It's not. It is the football managing. That is what you do on Football Manager. Anyone that's played Football Manager is you sign all the good youngsters coming up, and in 5 years' time, you win absolutely everything. Because it's a computer game. This is real life. And now it's starting to affect our players, you know. So it's about time that these owners do shift the focus, start realizing that the idea of the model needs to be dropped. And if we really want to complete, like they've told us so many times, they need to be recruiting better. Like I've said before, we've spent £1.7 billion. Everyone says it's 2 billion. It ain't. 1.7 billion. We could have spent 1.1 billion on 11 players and used 600 million to do the model that they wanted to do. I know that they wanted to come into the club, strip the squad completely, get rid of everyone that had nothing to do with them that's under their control, and bring in their own players. which they've near enough done. All they've got left now is what, Reece James and Chalobah. They're the only two that I can think of that have been here since they started. Can't think of anyone else. They could have done that and spent 600 million on the youth players and do the flipping that they wanted to flip, and we could have had 100 million pound players. And then all of a sudden we're looking at everyone's looking at us going, oh shit, you know, they got a stacked team here of decent players, and then look at their youth coming up. The recruitment has been shocking, like without a shadow of a doubt, absolutely shocking. If it was me and I knew that I had 1.7 billion to spend, I would have been doing that, going out getting the best players. Not even if I wanted to go youngsters, I'd be going out getting the best young players, because we're not even doing that. We had the opportunity to sign Cucurella. We didn't. We had the opportunity to sign Doué for 50 million. We chose not to. You know, there's loads of these youngsters that we could be signing who would be absolutely fantastic for us. Elise, we didn't want to give him the contract now. I kind of get it at the time. He would have come in and been like probably the biggest, you know, the biggest salary there, when they'd already come out and said, well, the model is that we don't spend over a certain amount of money, you know, low contracts, incentivized and all this. Kind of understand it, you know. Tired with the youngsters' agenda. When they get to the experience stage, we replace them with more youngsters and quit the sucker. Do you know what I mean? It's just a rinse and repeat. And I think a lot of Chelsea fans resonate with this. We all sit here and believe the same thing, and we can all see it going that way. They hit 27. They're starting to look at them going, bit old. Let's get the next youngster through. Replace them. So they maintain their... A lot of it is all about maintaining value. I'll be honest with you. A lot of it is all about maintaining value. But when you really deep the squad building that has happened, you know, there is some players in there that we are appreciative of. You know, Caicedo, for example. Esteval. Everybody loves Esteval. Gusto, in my opinion, is all right. I go up and down with him. I don't really know whether he's good enough or not. Everybody's frustrated with Pedro Neto. Nobody wants Garnacho. Mudryk, shocking signing. Look at our centre-back signings. They've all been poor. Goalkeeper signings, poor. Everybody likes João Pedro. Nobody likes Delap. Cole Palmer's been fantastic for us. You know, there's a lot of hit and misses. There's so many hits and misses. I mean, Enzo Fernandez, you'd have to... in my opinion, I'd say he's been good for us. Could we have had better is a good question. And it's a good one to debate, and it's a good one for people to argue who don't like him, to say if we had this player instead, we would have done better and he would have been cheaper. I get all that. But when you just look at the recruitment, it has been shocking. Absolutely shocking. Absolutely shocking. Like I said, 100 million players, and you're good. And then you got a squad there racked up at 600 million that could all be youngsters. So, after Cucurella's interview anyway, moving on swiftly, he comes out, he disrespects the model. Well, crashes the model. Don't disrespect the model. Fuck the model. Everybody disrespects the model. But the owners start putting out their briefs, and all the Chelsea big accounts, or, you know, the ones that flip all the news, recycle it all. Your Simon Phillips, your Kieran Gills, your Fabrizio Romanos. I don't know how much they pay him, but bloody hell. If he ain't got a Chelsea shirt on when he's going to bed, I don't know what he's got on. Because that guy, it's all Chelsea. All Chelsea. So after the interview and the backlash that followed, the owners started putting out their briefs. They're ready to change the model. Not admit that, you know what, it ain't been working. It's time to change the model, they're saying. You know, it's time. We're thinking about, you know, we think we're ready now to start investing in experienced players. As if to say, you know, Are we listening to our players? Are we listening to our fans? Bollocks. It's all about keeping the fans sweet. This is what Chelsea fans need to realise. We get dangled a carrot, and so many of them just fucking take the bait. So many people take the bait. Got to start reading into these things. It's no coincidence. It's no coincidence that all of this comes out. The next set of news is, what we're thinking about signing experienced players this year. We was under the impression that signing players like João Pedro, who are experienced Premier League players, was us starting to do it, and they just make excuses for themselves. And then when you realise who's actually doing the recruitment, the sporting directors, and who they're signing, Brighton players, Joe Shields, ex-City players, you just realise how limited the recruitment really is. Like, have we not got scouts scouting out everywhere? Because it's so poor. And they've put out there that they're ready to sign established Premier League players. Now, to me, this is a load of waffle. And it does make me think, one, there's two things. One, why didn't you do that for Enzo Maresca when he was asking for it? Especially off the back of a Club World Cup and a Europa League trophy, which would probably have meant that he didn't need to go speak to Manchester City. Now, whether or not they found out before all of this that he was talking to Manchester City and he had these approaches is another story. That's something I can't confirm. But then that would help me understand why they turned around and didn't, if that is the case. But why didn't they? He said, I need a centre back. I need a little bit of experience. That's all I need. And then even he didn't get backed at all this season. And we are where we are. He made mistakes himself this season. I'm not gonna, I'm not giving him the full credit. He definitely made mistakes this season. I was not happy with him. Going into January, they had an opportunity again to give him the centre back, to give him a little bit of experience. Didn't take it. We are where we are. Again, nonsense. So for them to now push it out again and say, this is what we're doing, it's waffle for me. Until we start seeing it, what can we, I won't believe it. The other thing that bugs me is that experienced, to me, it all matters on who we actually sign. I've seen links to Senesi come about. Now, will it improve our squad? Probably. Will it improve our starting 11? Maybe. Will it get us to winning a title? I don't think so. I don't think that is the kind of experience that is going to be doing, I'm worried that they're just going to go and sign some bang average players, bang average experienced Premier League players. If it was me, I'd be looking at the 100 centre backs. I'll be looking at Lacroix for Crystal Palace. I think he's brilliant. Murillo, good playing out the back. I'll be looking at the Tottenham team and going, well, you know what? Yous are going down. Maybe a Romero, maybe a Van der Ven. Give some speed in the back line, especially how we like to play a high line and play on the halfway line. Perfect for him. Perfect for him. Thoughts on the 4-0, by the way? What 4-0? City Liverpool. Is that the 4-0 you're talking about? But yeah, it worries me that that's now come out. It worries me that they think, okay, we'll just put out a brief and say, yeah, we're going to change it. And then it will go, well, we've changed our tactics. We've given you everything that you're asking for. You asked for experienced Premier League players. We changed our recruitment, and there you go. You're still moaning, but it has to be. This is the key to all of this for it to make sense. It has to be the right people. It can't just be. He's played a lot of Premier League games. He's been here before. Sign him. Has to be the right people. Now, Premier League experience, for example, I'll tell you a good one that I'd think about signing. Now, it'd have to be on the cheap. Don't get me wrong. I don't expect this player to be starting every game. I don't expect this player to be, ripping up trees. But I think he'll be good for the young players there. And that's Danny Welbeck. I'll be honest with you. I love Danny Welbeck. I think he's a brilliant footballer and a great striker. And he always scores against us to get him away from Brighton so then they don't score against us anymore. Is he the level that's going to take us to a title? No. But in terms of squad building, that's a good player to have in your squad that your other strikers can be learning from. Like your Delaps. Look at Delap. Delap's got nobody around him that he could be learning from. No wonder he's struggling. He needs a mentor. He ain't got nobody. This is why I said at the start of the season, sign Delap. He's got some potential. But you need to sign a number one striker who's going to come in there and help him as well. And we haven't got that. We've got João Pedro, but I don't see him as like the mentoring type. I don't see him experienced enough to do that to a Delap. Liverpool losing 4-0 as crazy as the league. Yeah, Liverpool, then they ain't been good this season, DCF. They ain't been good at all this season. And losing 4-0 to City like that is very embarrassing. But City at the moment are looking shit up. They're looking like they're ready to, go on their little bit of momentum and try and go for everything that they're in. Won the Carabao Cup. They're on the treble. At the moment, they're on the treble. Everybody's talking about Arsenal now on double because they've obviously been knocked out the FA Cup as well. But that's just in the background. Do you know what I mean? The treble there is in the background and it's on. This is City we're talking about. We can never, ever take them for granted. Because once it gets going, once Pep gets it ticking, don't matter when, as long as it happens in the season and it ain't too late, in my opinion, the Premier League, I think, is too late. But then again, Arsenal are starting to show signs of weakness and you're starting to look at Arsenal going, mate, they might drop this. That's in the back of all their fans' heads. I've been speaking to them. So it could be on. The treble could be on. It could be well and truly on. But yeah. So after that, we're changing the model talk. The owners have come through and briefed. We're going to be signing experienced Premier League players. Next day, Valentino Barco signs for Chelsea. He's accepted terms from Chelsea. We now need to sort out a fee for Strasbourg. Now, if that's your Premier League experience, I know he played for Brighton. It's another Brighton link. Obviously, he's gone to Strasbourg to get his route through to Chelsea. We've got Enciso from Strasbourg as well joining up for Chelsea next year. Look at that recruitment. Look at that recruitment. Now, Barco, I've watched him a couple of times and I thought he was all right. I can't sit here and say I've watched him enough to have a full-on opinion about him. I've listened to other people's opinions of him, watched a few clips, and looked at his stats. His stats look very good. Can't go off his clips because you can always put together. I've got best bits that will match anyone's. You know what I mean? But he is a good player, no doubt, a good player. I don't think that's a poor decision to sign him. Bayern Munich were knocking on the door for him. We've obviously moved early, knowing that we can. And we've taken him. There's a little bit of a feeling that we're just holding all the youngsters on purpose. So what? Does he fit into the team? Now, if Enzo Fernandez is going, yes. Left back, yes. He does. There is a position. There is a place for him in this squad. Does he improve the squad? The squad as a whole, yes. But if we're losing Enzo Fernandez, that's not a replacement, in my opinion. I don't think we're getting rid of a better player, in my opinion, to replace it with someone who's not at the same standard. So, realistically, I'm going to need someone from Strasbourg or someone who's really looked at Barco to tell me whether or not this is going to be the replacement. I don't want people that are just getting gassed off of the fact that we've got another shiny new toy. I need someone that's going to tell me whether this is a level raiser. Is this going to be the guy that can come in and do everything that Enzo Fernandez does and more, because we do need more. In reality, we do need more. I think we need more than Enzo Fernandez. We have to. We need someone who's got the whole package, someone who can do the defending, the running, the passing, the creative side, the GNA, because that is what we will be giving up. GNA, creativity, passing, dictating the play. He does do a bit of defensive duties. He does get stuck in, but for me, he's just not athletic enough in this division, in this league. I don't think he's athletic enough. We need someone else. Now, the other name that was touted, there's been a few names, was Elliot Anderson. Good player. Does the running, does the defending, does the creative stuff to an extent. He doesn't have the GNA that Enzo has. This is the issue. But he's up there, and I think he might even be first for, chances created this season, which is a bit of a surprise for me. Now, is the reason because of who he's playing for, that he's not getting added onto that GNA? I saw him hit the bar the other day with England, so he can take the shots. Very good play. He does the running. I mean, that's where he caught my attention playing for England very early on this season. I thought this player's decent. He's very good. So is he better than Enzo right now? They both do things better than the other, in my opinion. I think Elliot Anderson's a better defender than Enzo. I think Enzo's a better passer than Elliot Anderson. In terms of GNA, I think Enzo's obviously contributing more than what Anderson is. But is Anderson fully focused on his defensive duties? No, he's not actually, because he's still creating chances for Nottingham Forest. They're just not putting it away. So my question to everybody is that an option that we should be looking at if Enzo Fernandez goes? Should we be looking at it anyway, even if Enzo Fernandez stays? I think so. Another option that's been put out there is Adam Walton. Great passer of the ball. Very composed. Will add a little bit of composure to that back line, a bit of calm, press resistant, turns on a sixpence. Reminds me of, don't take this out of context, reminds me a little bit of Busquets when he's not facing the goal, when he's facing his own goal. Now, one's an expert, one's starting out. I know this. I'm not taking a piss with it. I'm just saying there's similarities. But does he add to the GNA? Do we lose the GNA? Enzo goes, do we lose the GNA? Do we make up for it with an Adam Walton? Does somebody else step in? Does he improve our general gameplay? That's another question for everybody. Now, I do think passing-wise, Adam Walton's good enough. I've seen him get caught out a few times. I mean, when he played Chelsea in his previous game, I thought he had an absolute stinker, if I'm being honest with you. And he got pressed. I said press resistant, but I thought he didn't do well that game. So that's one bad game, though. With all of these players have had bad games. But I think Adam Walton is a very good shot. I think he's a very good player. And if we don't swoop him up, 100% it'll be at City. 100%. He's a very good player. Very good player. Is that the option to replace Enzo Fernandez? Or should we just be looking at it anyway? Another name, Belieber. Now, wouldn't surprise me if this is the one that happens, because obviously it's the Brighton link and there's money laundering going on with Brighton at the moment. These owners are just paying Brighton's owners for whatever reason. In my opinion, he massively fell off this season, which is a worry. We do still know that he is a good player, of course. But we also have a Romeo Lavia there, who I think is very similar. Lavia, of course, best ability is your availability. He's never around. If we do keep Lavia fit, is it worth having Belieber on the books as well to replace an Enzo Fernandez? Does he give you the GNA? I don't think so. But does it allow Caicedo to get further forward? Maybe. But if you look at that, if we was to play three pivots or a very defensive midfield there with Belieber, Caicedo and Lavia, that is strong. You know what I'm saying? But in terms of going forward, Caicedo can do it. Can Belieber do it? Do we have the overall creative spark if we don't have an Enzo Fernandez in that team? Kind of think so. But imagine we'd have, let's say, a Belieber and a Caicedo, and then a Cole Palmer in the 10, doing all the creative side of things. Esteval on the right would need another left winger. Could it work? Could that be, these Trini Bob, what are you saying, bro? You good? These owners don't have a clue of what they are doing. You're right, they don't. And the directors as well. They haven't got a clue. They don't know. These sporting directors, one's from Monaco, one's from Brighton. What have they achieved? What have they achieved? I don't know whether Winstanley was there when they won the league, Monaco, but they're not massive clubs. They're not in the realms of your Chelsea football clubs. You're talking Monaco, you're talking Brighton. And when the owners are coming in and saying, oh, the Brighton model looks very good because they're bringing in young players, you knew it was all about profit straight away. Obviously, we know it's a public fund. So you know that these investors are going to want some money back. So you know that it's all about flipping and getting some profit here and there. Everybody that gets into business doesn't go into business just to lose their money. We were very, very lucky to have Roman Abramovich, the best owner football will ever see, that he was so passionate about football and supporting the love of this club that he was willing to, pump his money into it and have it sitting there on a loss. To the point when he sold the club, he said, write the debt off, man. That's Chelsea. That's my club. Didn't even give a shit. 2 billion he fucking writ off. Said, yeah, fucking have it. Or 1 billion, something like that. 1 billion, just have it. Proper owner. Would I have Kante back? Nah. I think that's done and gone. I think that's gone. I think the Kante is gone, if I'm being honest with you. Bit of a just trying to think about it. No, I don't. He probably still will go to the World Cup this year. Kante, will he start consistently? Don't really think so. I don't. Has he still got the legs? I can't imagine Kante without the legs. But I think that ship sailed. If I'm honest with you, we need to be looking at somebody else. Another name that was put in the hat, which when I heard this one did excite me, if I'm being honest with you, because this is a player that I highly rate, a player that I think would replace the GNA if Enzo did go. One who I think's at a similar level to Enzo, if not better than Enzo Fernandez, and that is Tonali at Newcastle. Now, what a player. What a player. Does he make our team better? In my opinion, yes. Does he have the creative spark? Yes. Can he kick a ball? Better than Enzo? Yes. Takes free kicks? Yes. He does the dead ball, does the defending. Loves a bet, a little bit of something in the background that's going to taint his reputation. Chelsea Football Club, there's always that going on, fits right in. Bit of a betting scandal. Chelsea would love him, wouldn't they? Let's be honest. In terms of how he is as a player, does he offer very similar? The only issue, this is what I'm thinking, the only issue is his attributes too similar to Enzo Fernandez. When you see his athleticism, for example, and his defensive contributions, is it similar to Enzo's, or does he do that better? In my opinion, I think Tonali's a better footballer than Enzo Fernandez, if I'm being honest with you. Would I want to sign him for over 100 million? No, but I can see him going for quite a lot. I can bet you that we are going to see average players come in this summer, and this cycle is just going to continue. That's my worry. That's my worry. And like I said, until I see it happen, until I start seeing decent players come in that I can go, you know what, yeah, I'm excited for this. And we're not depleting the squad like we did this season, where we completely stripped it bare. Then I'll start believing in what they're doing. But we've had so many windows now. I don't believe anything these owners say. I have no faith that they're going to add anything worthwhile to the team. And until I see it, then I will believe it. But I'm with you there. I'm firmly in the camp where I think that the players that they are going to bring in are going to be bang average. The experienced Premier League players that they talk about are going to come from Brighton, the likes of Bournemouth, and like your Senesi and all that. I don't think they're going to be who we think that we may be getting. I don't think they will be. I chucked in Danny Welbeck in there earlier. In my opinion, he's a very good seasoned veteran. I think he'll improve the squad. I think he's a very good option that could come off the bench to rely on and try and see a game out and maybe nick a winner, like he always does. Does it against big clubs in the Premier League. The only thing that bugs me is he plays for fucking Brighton. Again, another one. That's what puts me off. But yeah, there's one wild card that I want to throw in there. This is one player that is experienced in the Prem, young, so he fits the model. Has won everything. Slightly out of favour at the club that he's at now. Might be looking for a change himself. Probably will be expensive, but I think his value is going to decrease this season, especially over the summer, because I don't think he's going to go to the World Cup. And that's Phil Foden. My opinion, he's a better player than Enzo Fernandez right now. He's achieved more in the Premier League, domestically, etc. Obviously, he hasn't won a World Cup. But he knows what it takes to go the distance in the Premier League. He knows all about winning. He's won a treble, for God's sake. He's been in a team where, that mentality has been drilled into them. Things aren't going his way at the moment. He's not playing enough. He might be unhappy. He might be thinking, I need to move. Now, with Enzo Fernandez, who's been playing in the more advanced role in this team, yeah, that's what I'm saying. A Phil Foden. Enzo Fernandez, who's been playing in more of an advanced role, he's been playing kind of like a second number 10 when we've been inverting the fullback. Having a Phil Foden there, alongside a Cole Palmer, alongside an Esteval, alongside whoever on the left, is dangerous. The creativity side of things is insane. The shooting, insane. The goal scoring positions that he will pick up, insane. Dead ball, insane. His ability alone, insane. That's who I'm thinking we should go out and sign. In terms of how much would it cost, 80 to 90 million, I reckon. I reckon at the moment he's over 100 million. City will be calling for 100 million. But with him not going to the World Cup, which I don't think he will be going, I think we could probably be demanding more. Now, if we're lining up Rodgers, who's a constant link for us, who's going to play out on the left, you can utilise Foden out on the left as well, if you wanted to. The other thing with that is, again, it's the defensive contribution. Is if we do go for a Foden, do we lose out on the defensive contribution? But do we need to play him in centre mid? Can we play him in the 10 and have Palmer on the right? Have Esteval on the left? We've got Quenda coming in as well, who's supposed to be very, very good. Been injured for a while now. We don't know what we're going to be getting. My opinion, Phil Foden is one player that I think we should be tracking. I think it's one that we should be looking at. I think it's something that we should be saying to City, look, he ain't getting much game time with you lot. What are you saying? Do you want to take it? Shall we take him off your hands? And we'll pay you a good fee. Just wait for Enzo Fernandez to leave and we'll sign him. English, working alongside Cole Palmer. I think we should be looking at that. I've seen a couple other Chelsea fans say it as well when I've been talking on X and I've been speaking to them about it. And I think that prospect excites Chelsea fans, the Phil Foden. I've spoke to people that don't want him at all. So he's not good enough, which is nuts. Nuts. Anyway, moving on swiftly. We've been online for over an hour now. If you're just tuning in or you've been tuned in this whole time, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're following me on X, make sure you head over to the YouTube and sub it. Trying to get the channel up to 500 this year. I think that's reasonable. Small channel, growing slowly. Just sorted out all my algorithms. I realized I was fucking myself up with having the gaming on the same channel. So if you like gaming, there's a gaming link in there as well. You can jump on that, sub to that channel as well. But yeah, let's talk about Port Vale, FA Cup, 7-0 win. Exactly what we expect against the bottom of the League One team. I didn't expect anything else. I couldn't really get excited for the game because it was Port Vale, but, you know, we had to get the job done. And that's what we, essentially, that is exactly what we got done. They aren't going to replace Enzo with someone that can replicate what he brings to the team if he's going to leave. They're bringing like a young average midfielder that we've never heard of. You're right. You're right. You're right. No, I weren't ending DCF. I know. I thought that at the time that it sounded like I was ending, but I wasn't. But you're right. They probably will bring in an average midfielder. Barco. That's Valentino Barco. That's who they're signing currently. That could be the replacement. We will find out in the summer whether or not they're sticking to their plan of, you know, just signing these, because that was always the route. Valentino Barco for me was always, Chelsea was always his route. From when he went from Brighton to Strasbourg, I went, this guy's going to be a Chelsea player. He's going to be a Chelsea player. I knew it straight away. And the route has continued. Now he's cracked on at Strasbourg. They rate him quite highly over there. But this is Chelsea Football Club. This is the Premier League. Is this guy going to elevate us into competing for league titles? Is it going to strengthen our squad? Probably. Is it going to do the other bits? No. Is it replacing Enzo Fernandez with a superstar that can fulfill everything that he does? I don't think so. Does he plug the holes, you know, the little pockets of weaknesses that Enzo Fernandez brings into the side? Don't think so. Really don't. But you'll see Chelsea fans online, you know, the big accounts that are already gassing him up, showing clips of it all. This is why he's good enough, etc. I'm not judging him before I see him on the pitch. And it's going to take more than 10 games for me to really have an opinion on him and whether I think he's good enough, because I'm fed up with doing it with these youngsters, looking at him and going, hey, he looks good, and they drop off the boil. I mean, look at Palmer at the moment. We all love him. We love Palmer because of that first season. He's gradually starting to decline. Now, whether that's because he's just fucking fed up with where he's playing and who he's playing under. Imagine being Cole Palmer being coached by Liam Rossini when you've got fucking managers out there like Luis Enrique, world-class Pep Guardiola, world-class managers that are going, actually, you come work with me, I'll make you a better footballer. This is what we're dealing with. This is one of the biggest problems, is the fact that the recruitment is so poor. We're just hiring people that are learning on the job constantly. And even when they signed Enzo Maresca, I didn't like it. He come up from the Championship. Yes, he may have won it. He was learning on the job. He had no Champions League experience in managing a club in the Champions League. You know, the good thing about Enzo Maresca is he was a very decent footballer. He was a very good footballer. That's the one thing I rate, because at least he can coach these players. Liam Rossini was not a great footballer, never achieved anything, let's be honest. And he ain't a great man. Like, he hasn't shown anything as to why we should be saying this is an amazing manager. He deserves a chance at Chelsea, a massive club, to take us where we need to be. And coach these players. Who has he coached in his career that we can look at and go, well, actually, he's coached that player? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Completely right. Completely right. Absolutely right. If you was to look at the positions on our pitch, you've highlighted two there, centre back and left winger. Is there any other positions you think we need to improve on? Whilst you're responding to that, I'm going to carry on with Port Vale. Obviously, 7-0 win. End of the day, it's a positive. It is a positive. We've won 7-0. Hurrah. Couldn't get too excited for it because I expected it, but we've done exactly what we should be doing to a team who's League One and about to get relegated. We've done the job. A 7-0 hammering is exactly what we needed to do. That will give the players a little bit of a confidence boost, you know. I know it's only Port Vale, but it will make them happy. They stat padded. Everyone, like a few players got on the score sheets, got some assists, some good performances in there. I thought Esteval played well. I thought Gusto played very well. João Pedro got on a score sheet again. So, you know, that gives them a good feeling going into the City game because that's all they need. That's all they need. A good feeling going into it. Goalkeeper, yeah, 100%, 100%. In my opinion, going into next season, I think we need two centre backs, two starting centre backs. Levi Cole will be back as well, but I don't know how good he's going to be. I'd keep Chalobah. The others can go. I think we need definitely another centre mid. So goalkeeper, two starting centre backs, a centre mid, left winger, 100%. And I still feel like we need another striker. Now, we've got Omega coming in, who's been injured pretty much the whole season. I think he's just making his return. He's one to watch out for. So I don't know how he's going to be coming into this league and performing. He was doing all right at Strasbourg before the injury. And before he announced that he was coming to Chelsea, they done it a bit prematurely and the fans didn't like it. And he had all sorts of drama since then. So I don't know. I don't know on the striker front, but let's put it this way. If I was serious and if I was the owner, I'd be looking at Harry Kane going, look, mate, you're coming towards the end of your career. You've had a brilliant 2 years at Bayern Munich. You're going to win the league again. You might win the Champions League. We're going to slap down 90 million for you. We'll give you a send-off. You know, we'll give you a good contract. You want to come over here and play for Chelsea and finish your career here? Mate, go get him. Best striker in the world football. I'll be saying, fucking sign him. Give him 300k a week, whatever he's on. Do you know what I mean? Harry Kane, go sign him. He'll give you the experience. He'll give you the leadership. He'll give you a bit of captaincy. And he'll give you fucking bag loads of goals. Bag loads of goals. Will we do it? No. Let's just be honest. It's not going to happen. That's the dream. That is the dream for me. I might do a stream where I go ins and outs, and in my ins are just going to be the pipe dream and what I really want to happen, which realistically not going to happen. And then I might do the more realistic ones that we could get. Diogo Costa's not a bad shout. That's not a bad shout at all. What about Magnon? I think Magnon, I don't know if that's still on the cards or whether that's done. I'm sure he signed a new deal recently, so I think we've missed out on that one. Obviously, we've got Penders coming through from Strasbourg. Whether or not we're going to be like starting him next season, I don't know, but it's an interesting one. What other goalkeeper? Do you know who I thought was a good goalkeeper? And we was linked to him before he went to City. James Trafford. I actually thought he was good. I've seen him over the last few games against City. I thought this guy's actually not bad. Good shot stopping. His kicking's good. He's good with his feet. I was thinking, okay, not bad. Now, obviously, he was signed at City to be the starting goalkeeper. Then Donnarumma popped up. I wonder if that's an avenue that we explore. If we got rid of Sanchez and Jorgensen and we had, let's say, Trafford and Penders, maybe that's one to go down. Martinez, I didn't mind Martinez, but I think he's a bit of a clown as well. I think he just makes too many mistakes. I really do. And I don't think he's very good with his feet at all. Yeah, you're right, Trini. You're very right. The only thing is though, if we started signing players like a Harry Kane and we backed it up with a Phil Foden, for example, I think other players from the outside, the noise will be different. They'll be like, "Oh shit, they've signed Harry Kane. Wow. Oh, they've signed Phil Foden. Wow." The noise will be completely different, and straight away, I think that will make a massive difference to you know how it's perceived on the outside. But anyway, FA Cup. Sorry. So we go through 7-0. Great win, fantastic win, best win we've seen ever. And there's some good performances in there. I felt sorry for Esteval. He only got the one goal. He hit the post a few times, didn't he? Garnacho hit in the post as well. He should have done better there, but at least he rounded it off with a penalty. We get Leeds in the next round, which, okay. If you saw them play against West Ham the other day, they went 2-0 up. West Ham showing their fight like they always do, come back. Not two. Was it 2-0 or was it 1-0? I think it was 2-0 and it went to 3-2. Can't remember. No, it was 2-0, went 2-2, went to extra time, 3-2, and then 3-3, wasn't it? Was it 3-3? Losing my mind. We'll check this. Literally the other day, I'm sure it was 2-0, went 2-2, 3-2. When was that? That was on Sunday, wasn't it? FA Cup, Leeds. Oh, the 3-2, it got disallowed. That was it. So it went 2-0 down, 2-2 with a couple last minute goals. Then they went 3-2 up, disallowed, and then 3-2 again, disallowed. Then they went to penalties, and then they had the stinker in the penalty shootout. But we get Leeds. Now, Leeds at Wembley, bigger pitch, should be good for us, should suit us. If it was a Leeds away game, I'd be worried because obviously we never win at Ellen Road. But it's going to be a good occasion for them. Now we need to get this Wembley hoodoo finished. It's been a while since we won at Wembley, so we need to go there and hammer them. I'm not joking. We need to smash this team because I can't have us getting knocked out in the semi-finals to Leeds at the FA Cup. This is a trophy that we've got a very good opportunity to go and win. We can't fumble it. We need to take this opportunity, and this will be brilliant for us. Now, a good question that I think I want to ask people and Chelsea fans out there is, if we manage to reach top four and we win the FA Cup, do you consider that to be a successful season? I'm going to give my opinion on it very soon. My worry is if we did do that, it would create another sense of false security like it did when we won the Club World Cup and when we won the Europa Conference League. Now, the FA Cup, in my opinion, is bigger than the Conference League, probably bigger than the Club World Cup. It's a trophy that we need to be going for. A domestic trophy that we haven't won in a very long time. We haven't won a domestic trophy for a while, thinking of it. So I'd love to go ahead and win this trophy. Now, obviously, first hurdle's Leeds. You'd think the next hurdle will be Man City, who are coming up against Southampton, who've done very well to knock out Arsenal the other day. That was fantastic. Loved watching that. I love watching Arsenal lose. I'm not going to lie. But it's still a very good opportunity. And, what happens can happen in a final. It's at Wembley, Trini. And no, it won't be a success. I'm going to tell you what I think of it. Yeah, it's at Wembley. It's at a neutral ground. So, obviously, Wembley favours us. I'd rather that. Bigger pitch, be able to stretch the game. I think it will help us more than playing on a compact pitch against Leeds. But my opinion on whether top four and an FA Cup is a success. Now, obviously, I'd be very happy, of course. Don't get me wrong. This is the one thing that you need to understand. First and foremost is I'll be very happy if we won the FA Cup. And I'd be happy that we've hit top four because we need to as a club. And winning a trophy is what we do it for. But I'll be lying if I sat here and said that the season has been a success based on those, on those achievements. You know, I think you're still able to do certain things like win a trophy and achieve a certain position and still sit here and say it wasn't successful. There'll be a lot of outside noise, and there's probably going to be Chelsea fans in here saying you're entitled and everything. And you know there'll be pundits that go, "Oh, well, you've achieved top four, and you've got a trophy. Oh, what did you do? It's amazing." This top four thing is all a facade. When people start understanding that top four is a metric that allows you to get into another competition, it's not a success. It's not a trophy. All it is not a metric. What did I call it before? Not a metric. It's a, I don't know. Fucking, I can't think now. I want to think about it. I can't think at all. But it's just something that you need to do to get into another competition, into a very good competition. Yes, it comes with a lot of perks, TV deals, comes with money attached to it, which obviously benefits the club. I don't want to sit here and not get top four. But to sit here and say that our season should be based on winning a trophy and getting into top four, is ridiculous. And after 4 years and 1.7 billion spent, especially how we haven't cracked on the way that we should have after winning the Club World Cup and winning the Europa Conference League, I'm looking at that going, no, actually, it hasn't been a good season. There's no point me sitting here denying that I haven't enjoyed any part of the season yet. Not a single game. Maybe Barcelona, but I haven't enjoyed this season. It's been a shambles from minute one. From the time they did not back Enzo Maresca in the summer with the transfers that he needed, I don't think it will be a successful season if we manage to achieve both. I'll be happy and glad that we've managed to do it. But this season, realistically, I feel like we've gone backwards. We've depleted the squad. I don't think we're going to achieve the same points tally as we did last season. We'll win one trophy less if that's a big if, we win the FA Cup. The size of the trophy compared to the other two probably matches it. But look, it is what it is. As Chelsea fans, we need to remember how the season's played out. On and off the pitch has been a shambles. You know, there's been drama constantly. The results ain't been good enough. The performances haven't been good enough from the players, from the managers, from the owners, from the sporting directors. And, you know, fans can come on here and say I'm entitled and Standard FC police and all this, but they're really forgetting who we are. They're, as Chelsea Football Club, you know, and they'll do the referring back to the Roman era and how it wasn't the best of times. And, you know, towards the end of it, we had a reputation as a big club and was capable of winning any competition that we went into. Just like I said about the Champions League, out of nowhere, 2021, we win it. Up against the best team in the world at the time in Man City. Just win the cup. So, in my opinion, I think it's vital that this fan base continue to maintain this winning standard that we talk about. And, you know, I feel like there's a lot of Chelsea fans that don't understand it. They don't understand what we're saying when we talk about the feeling of being a Chelsea fan and you know, winning and this standard that we're trying to maintain. And they just like to refer back to the facts of where we was when they took over. The facts are we had a reputation. And the facts were teams would look at us and go, shit, we're playing Chelsea. In the Champions League, oh shit, we've got Chelsea. FA Cup, oh fuck, Chelsea. That was the reality. Whether or not we weren't winning these competitions or not, 20 years of being the most successful club in this country is where we were as a club when they took over this ownership. And we need to maintain that. We need to remember that. And even if we sit here, because I sit here as well and say, okay, we're not there. Even if we're not there, we should still want that. Even if we know, look, it ain't realistic that we're going to do any of these things, we should still be sitting here going, that's what we want. So sort your recruitment out, you know? If we do win the FA Cup, be happy, celebrate the FA Cup. But when we go into the next season, say, no, sign the players that we're supposed to sign and push on and fucking get rid of that manager and get a better manager in his place. Someone that knows how to win. Someone who can coach these players and take us in the direction that we can go. Because I'm not seeing anything from him, if I'm being totally honest from you. Totally honest. Look, here we go. Just on the topic, just right on time. You're right, but do you trust the coach to bring us a trophy too? No, Trini, I don't. I really don't. I don't think he's good enough. I don't think he's experienced enough. For me, I look at Rossini and I see the image. You know, he does all of the things that a good coach would do in terms of showing how to do it. You know, I'll sit down and I'll make loads of notes to make it look like I'm really invested in what I'm doing, to make it look like I'm really thinking about what I'm doing. He says all the right things in the media. Oh, I'll pass a note on the pitch to make it look like I'm tweaking things. By the way, he done that in the 86th minute against PSG when we're 3-0 down. That's fucking embarrassing. What are you putting on? What's in that? What is in that note? What's in that note? What are you adapting in the 86th minute? Do you know what I mean? It's just, he does all of the things on show. It's all a show for him, because reality behind the eyes, he actually don't know what to do. So he's trying to convince himself. I can see him sitting at home, like his missus might be watching him or something, and I can see him just like going, yeah, and doing that to his missus. So his missus is looking at him going, yeah, like he's really into this Chelsea. Like I can see it. Bro, who is he? No, sorry, I'm gonna start. Everything's for the cameras. Everything's for the cameras, and he's doing everything to try and convince everybody that he should be there. The only way that he can convince everybody that he should be here is by getting the results. And unfortunately, my friend, when the crunch time has happened, because he had a very good run in, let's not gloss over it. He had a very good run in when he first joined the club. All of the games that we needed him to do something that would help us turn up and win a game against a team that's a lot stronger than us, he fouled. That was Arsenal. 3 times. Other than that, he had quite an easy running. The next 2 games, there where we needed him to really show us what he's made of. PSG twice, absolutely embarrassed, absolutely out of his depth, absolutely clueless. I felt sorry for him. I felt embarrassed for him. He kind of looked like he just needed a cuddle, because he's doing all of this showmanship, but I could see behind the eyes, nothing was ticking. He was panic stations. What do I do? I'm 3-0 down here, man. I ain't got a fucking clue what to do. I've got Premier League. I've got Everton away. I'll tell you what would I do on Football Manager? I'll tell you what, do you know what? They're probably tired. They played a lot. We ain't going to win this game. I'll tell you what, I'll take them on for 60 minutes and then we can focus on the Premier League. Bang. Straight away, I knew this guy, no idea. Absolutely no idea. Exactly that. He's moving like a PE teacher. He is, man. He is. But listen, I've been going on for an hour and 34 now. So I've got some discussion points that, people feel free to discuss in the comments below. 1, the City game coming up. I'll tell you what, actually, let's do the City game before we go on the discussion points. Yeah, the City game. What do we think the lineup's going to be? Obviously, there's no Enzo Fernandez. He's suspended for the second game. Reece James obviously is injured. Don't know whether he's going to be back. Obviously, he didn't play against Port Vale. I haven't seen anything to say that he's going to be back. So I'm going to say it's going to be Gusto at right back. Obviously, Rob Sanchez in goal. Jorgensen should never play again. Chalaba's obviously injured, so it's going to be Fofana and Jesus. Oh, wow. We're in trouble, aren't we? Because it's either going to be Sarr or Tosin. Achimpong don't get he's going to be gone at the end of the season. They don't play him. That's going to be pure profit. We're going to lose him. Chelsea fans are going to lose him. The club won't lose him. The club will sell him. They'll make the money on him. Chelsea fans will lose him. If you understand that. It's probably going to be Tosin, isn't it? It's going to be Tosin and Fofana. I can't imagine him playing Sarr. Or Hato. Maybe Hato. Cucurella is going to be left back. Centre mids are going to be Caicedo and Lavia. I think Lavia will be back for that game. In the 10, I reckon it's going to be Palmer on the right. It's going to be Esteval on the left. It's going to be Neto and João Pedro is going to be up top. That's what I'm going with. But the defensive line is a problem. Is a problem. Don't. You look what he said. Trini. Don't say it, bro. I've been saying this as well. As soon as I saw Gary Neal go Strasbourg, I was thinking, okay, now this is it. This is who we got next. This is who they're lining up. Fucking Gary O'Neill. Mate, if they I might not watch it. I'm not even gonna lie. If he goes and Gary O'Neill is the next one to be in charge, I might not be streaming. I might not do no streams. I'm not gonna lie to you. I might have to go. I might have to just do the game in. You won't see a Chelsea shirt inside this thing. I'll take this thing down and I'll wait. I'll wait till we get our club back because fuck me. We'll be rot. Like I can see it happening as well. This is the thing. It's not even like I can see it happening. It's not fucking hell. But anyway, City. What do we think for the result? I'm going for a loss. If I'm being honest with you, can't see us winning it. Even though we won 7-0 at the weekend, obviously very positive. I can't see us winning. I think City have just started to pick up form. 4-0 drumming against Liverpool. Haaland with a hat-trick. It's worrying. The squad's not good enough at all for us to face a City. I don't even think we score a goal. If you want my honest opinion, I don't think we score a goal. I think it's going to be a 3-0 City maybe. I know I sound very negative. I'm just trying to be a little bit realistic with where we are. There's no point in coming on here going, no, we're going to win. We're going to smash them. We're not. I'm just trying to be realistic. I don't think we're going to win this game. I want us to win this game because we need to. As much as I don't want Arsenal winning the league, I feel like we've got to go for this. We have to try and win this because we need all the points we can for top 4. But I just can't see us winning this game. Just can't see us winning this game at all. I mean, under Maresca, I might have been a bit more confident because he was. I found Maresca a little bit pragmatic, although it wouldn't have come across that way in the game. The way that we used to play our football, obviously the sideways passing, backwards, forwards, and just not really doing anything with the ball but holding the possession. It was more of a defensive tactic, in my opinion, than an offensive one. So he liked to take control over the game, shut up, stop, try and prevent any chances, and play the game high up the pitch in their half. What it did was isolate everything. Squeeze everybody to the final third of their pitch, and you can't break it down. Now, against the better side like a Man City, you do break away, you do get more chances, and I would feel a little bit more confident under Maresca. But under Liam Rosinha, he's about to come up against Pep Guardiola. He's about to come up against the best manager that we've seen in a very, very long time. Probably up there with Alex Ferguson, Jose Mourinho, your Wengers. He is up there with them, the Ancelottis. You know, he's a legend of the game in terms of management. That's who he's up against. So can I see him doing any masterclass? No. Can I see him bringing anything to the table that's going to change the result? No. Do you think the players believe in it? No. Do you think he's been doing anything in training to think about it? Or like, no. Let's be honest. I'm not even going to watch it. Come on, man. What day is it? It's got to be. I'm probably going to be doing a stream for it. We've got the Champions League tonight, lads. That's why I wanted to get this stream out early so I could relax and watch the Champions League. Might put a few bets on. So we're on the Sunday. Are we early kickoff? No, we're late kickoff, 4:30 kickoff on a Sunday. Now we could either ruin City's chances at the Premier League and gift it to Arsenal, or we're just not going to do anything and really fuck up our chances of getting top 4, which is I actually believe is going to happen. So I'm going to be streaming it. You can tune into then. It should be a fun game to watch me screaming. But yeah, as I said, got some discussion points that feel free to get involved in the comments below. That's going to be 1, the City game, the result. Where do you see that going? 2, your thoughts on Enzo Fernandez and the Cucurella situation. I saw Cucurella's one not disrespectful, but I saw Enzo's one disrespectful. Do you feel the same? Do you think that they should be treated the same? Obviously, Enzo got the suspension. Cucurella didn't. I thought Cucurella done it in a good way. I thought he attacked the model very well. I thought he done it with respect. And where do you see that going? If we don't get Champions League, where do you really see that going? Because, you know, like I said, those 3 players could be an issue if they do leave, you know. Would you think about the replacements? What about the Phil Foden that I offered out there, the wild card? Let me know what you think about that. Where do you see us with the FA Cup? Do you think we're going to win? And ultimately, where do you see us finishing at this point in the season? Where do you think we're going to finish? Let me just get this last comment up. Maresca just wanted proper players that he could build around Palmer, Reece, Caicedo, but these managers are so dumb. I hope we can keep the score at 2-1 against City. I'd love to keep it like that. And I do think you're right. He wanted proper players that he could build around, like you said, Palmer, Reece and Caicedo. And they weren't giving it to him. The problem that I had with Enzo Maresca, and I've always had a problem with Maresca, is I think he's very much a system manager. Very much a system manager. And he needs specific players to fit that system. I don't think he's coaching players to play in his system. I think they need to be ready-made. Them players, you pick them out, you put them in his system, and his system's working fine. I don't think he's got a plan B. I don't think he has the in-game management to change his system into something else that's going to affect the game. It was always my problem. If we come up against a low block, for example, he had no answers. I'm sitting there saying, you're playing on the halfway line. Drop your back line 10 yards. Drop your midfield 10 yards. Pull them away from their goal so we can create pockets of space. I saw it. He didn't seem to see it. But I think he was so fixated on his defence and how bad they are, which is not necessarily a problem. He had his reasons. But for me, Enzo Maresca, I mean, there's a lot of Enzo Maresca lovers out there. I get it. He won us 2 trophies, but I thought them 2 trophies really glossed over everything. What I don't understand is there's Chelsea fans out there that were slating Poch, for example, for certain things that he'd done, playing players out of position, doing some wild tactics. His defence was all over the place. We conceded the most we've ever conceded under him, but we also scored a lot of goals with him. And he managed to manage a player into becoming a star in Cole Palmer. What I don't like is the double standards. You know, I saw things Enzo Maresca done that Poch had done. You know, some of his man management, Enzo Maresca, on some of these players was not good enough. I don't think in the first season, when we're in a position where we're near top of the league, we could push on here, make a title charge a bit early, just coming up to Christmas, but give them confidence. Give these young players confidence. Tell them, you're in it, lads. You're here right now. Enjoy it. Embrace it. Let's try and go there. Instead, he put them down, slated them, told them they're not good enough. and gave them the excuse, in my opinion, to, drop off. And that's exactly what they did over the Christmas period. And then all the way to the end of the season, we scrape it on the last day, the very last day we get into top 4. He achieved it. I can't say nothing. Europa League, Conference League, I always thought that was a competition that we should have won. If he didn't win that, regardless of where we finished, he should be going. So I can't really compliment him on that. And when you look at the final, we're losing. Palmer says, fuck this, I'm crossing it, gets a goal. And he even come out afterwards saying, I just wanted to cross it. I just thought, fuck it, I'm going to cross it. Stop doing what we're doing. Stop passing it backwards, I'm going to cross it. So I can't give that credit to, well, you got to give him credit for winning it. But you know what I'm saying, And there was a lot about it that I didn't really buy into. I think people got gaslit a bit. Even with the Club World Cup, we had the easy route all the way to the final. Yes, the final was a madness. You've got to give him credit there because he did a madness there. He did a fantastic job there. That's one thing you've got to give him credit for. You've got to give him credit for how he managed the injuries, Reece James. You've got to give him credit for how he managed those big games. But then when you actually do look at our record of the top 6 under Maresca, it ain't great. It's not amazing. So I do think there was a lot of gaslighting going on with Maresca, and I don't like the double standards that some fans were putting out there under Poch, for example. Now, Poch was very frustrating. We had all sorts of problems, but where you look at it, where we are in the process of these owners and where we were, what he was picking up with players still going out the door as he came in, he had a different job to Maresca. Towards the end of his tenure as well, he did start sorting it out. He changed the formation and we looked very, very good. That same formation was adopted going into the next season with Enzo Maresca. So I just don't like the double standards. There's certain Chelsea fans, there's some big Chelsea fans, big accounts that were quick to just keep calling out Poch. Yes, I didn't like Poch at the time. But then when it comes to, talking about Maresca, the Maresca loving, it's just give it a break. Now, he's better than Rafinha, don't get me wrong, because this guy's fucking useless. But you just got to tell people how it is. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, that satanic concert. That was some weird shit, man. But you just got to say it how it is, I'm afraid. And people don't. They want to hold on to their agendas. They want to hold on to their opinions because they want to be right. They don't want to be wrong, which is understandable, but at least admit, okay, certain things here and there. So I'm going to leave it there. Trini, thanks for tuning in. DCF, thanks for tuning in. Very much appreciate you both, of course. Get involved in the comments on the video. Get involved in the talking points. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. If you're tuning in on X, make sure you head over to the YouTube. Hit the subscribe button as well. More content coming out shortly. Been off of it for a while. Now I'm back. Going to be trying to get more content out there. Get these algorithms up. Now I've sorted out both channels. Got the gaming channel on there as well. So head over to there and look at that one, Casey Nova Gaming. And you can watch some gaming streams, sort all my algorithms out, and try and get this channel growing properly. But thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you on the next one in a bit.